Morning. Yeah, it is morning. So I've been reading a new book, and I wanted to share some stuff that I read this morning with you all. So if you're new to here, or or somebody shared this, then my name's Chrissy with Chrissy Holmes Fitness, and I don't share my personal development very often, and I probably should, because I know it helps me out a lot. So if you don't know what personal development is, it's I can't even talk this morning. It's reading books that help you maybe with issues or things that you're struggling through, or things that you want to know more about, or maybe things you want to learn about. And so that's personal development. It may be personally, like mentally, it may be spiritually, it could be marriage, parenting, like things that you want to know more about, and you read about that and develop those skills more. So I didn't really do a whole lot of this before I started coaching, and it is such an important part of what I do, and I think it's so beneficial, because it has helped me to hone in on skills and different things, and help me to understand better myself and those around me. So I had started reading one of Brené Brown's, I think that's how you say her name, books called Rising Strong, and I stopped because there's a couple books before that. I know you don't really have to read them in order, but I wanted to read this one. This one's The Gifts of Imperfection. Let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you are. Your guide to a wholehearted life. So it's really good. I haven't got very far in it so far, but I really like her writing. But what I wanted to share today was something on courage. She talks about courage in this chapter that's called Courage, Compassion, and Connection, The Gifts of Imperfection. So today, I just wanted to talk about courage. I'm going to read some of it, but hey! Courage is a huge theme in my life. It seems that either I'm praying for some, feeling grateful for having found a little bit, appreciating it in other people, or studying it. I don't think that makes me unique. Everyone wants to be brave. And I find that so true. I am an introvert, and I don't get out and do a whole lot. I don't like to put myself out in front of people. So when I do, I really have to have courage to do that. And I almost have to I don't know, it's like you have to be brave to do that kind of stuff when you're putting yourself out there in front of people. But she talks about how that this is not just any kind of courage, that the wholeheartedness requires ordinary courage. And here's what she means by that. So the root word for courage is core, and its Latin meaning is, it's actually the word for heart. And I found this so fascinating. So in one of its earliest forms, courage actually had a very different meaning than what we think about. Like when I mention courage, this probably doesn't come to your mind. To speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. Okay, that's probably not what comes to your mind. You're probably thinking of heroes and being heroic, with having courage. And I think that's still true, but I really like that she talks about how that we've lost touch with the idea that speaking honestly and openly about who we are and about what we're feeling and our experiences is actually the definition of courage. Because it takes courage to speak honestly to people, and it takes courage to speak openly about who you are and what you're feeling and about experiences that you've been through, good or bad. So it really takes a lot of courage to do that. So ordinary courage is actually putting our vulnerability on the line, okay? When I say that, I mean if you tell a story, if you tell something that happened in your past, you're putting yourself out there for, judgment. You're putting yourself out there for criticism, for people, to what they're going to think of you. So that is definitely courage and bravery in my mind. I don't know about yours. And especially nowadays with social media, it's so easy to not show our true selves and not show our vulnerability, to kind of hide that and just show the highlights of our lives. And that's that's not being very courageous and very brave. So when we pay attention, we see courage every day. We can see courage in some of the, like the little things. She talks about a few stories of her kids and how they found courage. And she said one of the, and I always thought this, and I remember, I don't remember who said it, but I remember a teacher telling me a long time ago that not to be, not to be afraid to, you know, if your teacher asks you a question, or somebody asks you a question, and I've told my kids this, don't be afraid to say, I don't know. Because, and that's one of the things that hit me when she was talking about it in this, this little part in this book was, that's one of the most courageous things to say whenever asked, you know, is, I don't know. I don't know the answer, because there again, you're putting yourself out there, putting yourself to be vulnerable, you know, that you really don't know it. And I think a lot of times we've put so much on, I don't know, knowing everything or thinking we have to know everything. And that's not good, because we don't know everything. I have teenagers and they know everything. Not really. They think they do. So it's not good. It's not good to I don't think we'll ever know everything. I think it's great that we should keep learning. So, that's really all I wanted to share with you guys. It's a library book and I can't really highlight. I should have written down, the main things, but I love highlighting in books. I may end up getting this one. I usually get them from the library now, and then if I really like them, I get them, read them again, and highlight them. So I would definitely be highlighting this one. You know. Oh, here's the other thing, and I do this a lot. So she says, I could also see courage in myself when I'm willing, risk being vulnerable and disappointed. So she talks about how a lot of times, if we have something coming up, or if we have something we're really excited about, we kind of downplay it. We don't, if somebody asks us, we're like, well, I'm not sure. It's probably, it's not a big deal, if it happens or not, or whatever. But inside, we're really wanting it to happen. But we don't want to put ourselves out there. Here comes that courage again. So, and this is something I struggle with. I try not to get too excited about something that I think might happen or that I really want to happen. Because if it doesn't, then what's everybody going to think about that? What's everybody going to, oh, well, she just knew that was going to happen and, that didn't happen. So what's she going to do now? You know what I'm saying? But we should be, and she says, instead of saying that, you should say something like, I'm so excited about the possibility, but I'm also being realistic. Okay. So, if you have those close friends that you can, talk to and say, well, or your spouse, you can show them that you are excited about something, that might happen, or a job that you're trying for, or a goal that you're trying to hit, or whatever it may be, that you're excited. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And that is something I struggle with, is putting emotions onto something or, feeling, I don't know, putting myself out there, I guess, is what, being vulnerable with other people, and then being let down by myself or whatever. And, and then having people know that it's kind of hard. And I think it takes courage to, like she said, to open up and be vulnerable. So she has a couple of stories in there that are really good, and it's her kids, that are teaching her, which is funny because I think that happens a lot. But she talks about, women and mothers, if you see another mom or another woman struggling with something and you have, something similar in your past, maybe you could share a little bit, I know what you're going through, it'll be okay, that kind of thing. Because a lot of times we feel like we're alone in that, and we're really not. Most things have happened to other people. And I think a lot of times when those things happen to us, it is a life lesson for us, of course, but it's also something that we can share with other people as, we go, 10 years down the road. We may run into another mom that went through the same thing that we went through when our kids were young, and we can share, we can help. And help them to have courage to, go through that time. So just the last little bit, she said that she was talking about the stories that she shared in the book and how courage has a ripple effect. And she said, every time we choose courage, we make everyone around us a little better and the world a little braver. And our world could stand to be a little kinder and braver. And I totally, wholeheartedly agree with that. I think the world could stand to be a little kinder and a little braver. And I think if we were a little kinder and a little braver with each other, the world would be a much better place. So I hope you all have a great Thursday. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this, and I'm hoping to share a little bit more of what I am reading and what I am learning, and some stuff about myself. And hope that you guys find something, and maybe a personal development book that you would like to read. If you don't know any and you need, maybe you have something you're struggling with, post it below and we could come up with, I have a long list of books. I love books. So we could come up with something for you if you're struggling in something or just need a good uplifting read. All right. Hope you all have a great Thursday, and I will be talking to you later.